How you doing, everybody? Jonathan here, and in this video I'm going to go over the 5 biggest mistakes that I've made as a business owner. Over the last couple of weeks I've been going over my journey from being a big box gym owner to running boot camp at a park to running boot camp indoors, where I currently do this, and I've been doing it for the last 6 years successfully, being able to generate over 6 figures in revenue. So I want you guys to be able to see that kind of success. And over that time, there are a number of mistakes that I've made that I think a lot of you need to be aware of, because a lot of people come in with expectations of how business is going to work. It doesn't necessarily work that way. So if I can help you avoid that, I will. So I'll go over the 5 mistakes that I've learned from, that I'll impart to you. But before I do, if you've not yet, make sure to click on that link up there and subscribe to my newsletter, as I send out short articles every Monday on how to see success in the fitness industry. If you just happen to stumble upon this video, make sure to click on the YouTube icon below and subscribe to this channel, as I make videos every Wednesday based on questions that I get the most. And as always, if you've already subscribed to both my newsletter and to my YouTube channel, thank you very much for your support. And if you find the information in this video helpful, please click on the like button below the video player, because every like that I get helps this channel. And if you want to follow my journey in real time, you can follow my bootcamp on Instagram at BFF Bootcamp, or you can follow my own personal fitness and life journey at jhurdles_ on Instagram. I'd be happy to have you guys as followers. But let's go over these 5 huge mistakes that I made as a business owner, so that when you guys are in that position, and you should all aim to own your own business, own your own service, so that you don't make those kinds of mistakes. All right. The first mistake that I made was that I tried to hire employees too quickly. When you're building your business, you're looking to create a culture, all right, a way of doing things. And I remember when I started in my in the gymnastic facility that I'm currently in, I wasn't sure that I was going to be able to manage my clients, and I thought I needed the extra help. I had a little bit of confidence lacking at the time, and I thought if I brought somebody else in, that'd make my services better. But in a lot of ways, it hindered me. Number one, I now had to create a new culture, or a culture that was blended in with somebody else's ideas. Now, that's not necessarily a bad thing, but this person did not start with me, so they didn't understand, where it came from the big box to in the park, like I spoke about in the last couple of videos, the struggle that it was to get my own facility, the struggle to make it work, the clients calling, cleaning the facility, setting up the equipment, how I'm going to structure the workouts. This is all stuff that I did before the person came in. So essentially, I brought in somebody as a partner that didn't have partner experience. Moreover, this is somebody that was only there for the workouts, so they didn't understand what went on behind the scenes. And this created a lot of frustration on my part, because this person didn't quite understand exactly how to run a business. This person knew how to train, and they were smart, but they were too much of a cost. So it costs a lot of money to keep an employee. It didn't make my life any easier. It's one thing if they're making your life that much easier, but I was still training and still doing all the extra stuff while carrying on this added expense. So if you're starting on your own, unless you have somebody that's starting with you, try to do it on your own, as you're probably more resourceful than you think. All right, you'll be able to save yourself a lot of time. You'll be able to save yourself a lot of stress, and make sure that you're in business that for at least a year or 2, and you've solidified your structure and the kind of environment that you want to create before you bring somebody else in. Otherwise, you're both figuring it out at the same time. The second mistake that I made was that I aligned my billing with my measurements. I used to do measurements every month, as I did it in the big box gym, along with billing every month. Now, the difference is, in the big box gym, I was selling block sessions, so people would buy 24 sessions at a time and get their measurements done every month. It's way more efficient to bill your clients monthly, and I'll go over that a little bit later in this video. So I was billing them monthly and taking their measurements monthly, and the problem that happens is, if a client doesn't see the success that they've expected, they will immediately blame your service, and they're much more likely to leave, as people make an emotional decision when they're disappointed. And sales is all about the emotion. So I realized a couple of things. Number one, you don't want to align the two, because people freak out, make a snap decision, and then you have to work that much harder to get them back. Number two, it takes a lot more time for somebody to actually change their habits. So you actually want to give them more time in between measurements, but you can still bill them every month. So now I do measurements about every 6 weeks, sometimes a little bit longer, and I do billing every month. That way the two don't overlap and people don't make emotional decisions on why they should stay or go. The third mistake that I made was that I gave a secret discount. I found a client that was starting to see a lot of success, but she couldn't afford the boot camp. And I really wanted to keep her on. At a time, I was at a point where when somebody left, it would really bother me. All right. And this is not the case anymore. People come and go. That's how business works. You can't get attached to any one person. You have to stay attached to your business. But the client really wanted to stay, couldn't afford it. So I think I gave her like a 50% discount. All right. So if I'm normally charging $197 per month, I said, all right, you can stay for $97 a month, but don't tell anybody. All right. And I felt good because I thought I was helping somebody. You know, she was going to follow the rules and not tell anybody. And then the next class, her friend comes over to me and says, I want the same rate that you gave to X person. So now what happens? You have egg on your face because you look like you're paying favorites. All right. And then you're going to end up losing money. So there was only one resolution to this. And that was the client that I gave the discount to, I had to let her walk. All right. Otherwise, whatever you do for one person, you're going to have to do for everybody. This is not like working in a big box gym. When you're the business, if people think that you're, picking and choosing and playing favorites, they're much more likely to leave. And you can't rely on keep this secret because your clients are going to have much more loyalty to their friends than they are to you. That's just how it's going to work. And even if you there may be clients that wouldn't tell their friends, but you don't want to risk it because the backlash can be too great, as it was, and I had to let a client walk, and it took a while to repair that relationship. So if you're going to give a discount, make sure that you would give it to everybody. If not, don't be afraid to let a client walk. Focus on the clients that you have. You will build your business and you will recover. The fourth mistake that I made, and this is a big one, is that I tried to expand too quickly. About 6 months in to me starting my business and then having everything run perfectly, I had just let go of the trainer that I hired. Somebody else came across and they said, hey, I want to start a boot camp just like yours. And maybe it was like a little bit of ego. Part of it is that I knew long term I wanted to have multiple BFF boot camp locations, but not quite that soon. So I essentially told this person, I'm not ready yet. It's not something I want to do. Thanks, but no thanks. Person was very persistent, all right, and then I got ahead of myself and I said, you know what, I can make this work, I can force it to work, and this person was not yet ready to own a business, and it cost me a lot of energy, a lot of time, a lot of frustration, because I had a remote location with somebody who was operating, who wanted to be a manager, but with the mindset of an employee. And the difference between the manager mindset and the employee mindset is that the manager knows that they have to do everything. The employee will do everything, but they feel they have to get paid for everything. So there are a lot of things that I necessarily don't get paid for. The back end work, the paperwork that I have to do to keep clients happy, the measurements that I have to send. Sometimes if the gym isn't as clean as I want it to be, vacuuming the floor, setting up, breaking down, these are things that I just do outside of the training. And when you have an employee mindset as a personal trainer, you're thinking, I should get paid X amount of dollars because I trained them and I'm so great at being a trainer. And anything else that I do extra, I should be paid extra for. And that's not how it works when you own your own business. One of the main things when I talk to other business owners is that they are very, very particular about cleanliness, and they won't even hire somebody else. They'd rather do it themselves because it is so important that they'd rather slave over cleaning a facility, as I would rather, than trust it to somebody else. And employees don't really think that way. So long story short, I tried to expand too quickly. I had my own boot camp. I was unable to micromanage this other person at their other location, and it became way more of a headache than I ever wanted. Now, luckily, we parted ways, and that's not something I have to worry about anymore. But I always think back as to what I could have done with all that time, energy, and money in the beginning. Now, I've rebounded, but I don't want you guys to have to go through that. So if you're thinking about expanding, make sure that number one, you have somebody to take over your facility, you can afford to pay them, and that you're willing to spend the time and energy to go over to another location and make sure that you build it up the way that you built up your first one. All right. The last mistake that I made is that I took checks and I took cash, and you never want to do that because when you take checks and cash, you have to chase your clients down. All right. The first thing I did after checks and cash was I did PayPal, but I found that to be too expensive. But as I mentioned earlier, you want to go with monthly billing. Automatic billing takes all the emotion out and all the awkwardness out of taking money from your clients, asking them, chasing them down every month. You know, they want to come in to work out. They forgot their check or they forgot their cash or they don't quite have it. They feel kind of awkward. Much easier to do auto billing. Anytime I speak about billing, I do that electronically through email. So there's really no kind of angst, as this is a service personality based business. You want to make sure to keep the relationship and the rapport as good as possible. So you don't want to take checks. Check out Chase Payment Tech. That's something that I worked with and I've worked with ever since. It's cheap and it doesn't have a lot of fees for transactions. If you ever want to learn how to do billing, it's also offered in my Dumbbells to Dollars course. If you're looking to see success, if you're looking for the right things to do in business and the path that I took in order to see success, I definitely recommend that you check out my Dumbbells to Dollars course, as it is dedicated to helping you first learn how to dominate the big box gym scene and how to slowly and organically grow into your own fitness business the way that I have. It's also approved for CEUs for ACE, NASM, ISSA, NSCA, and PAFA. So if you want to keep your certification current, it is definitely going to help you. And also it will show you how to coach nutrition, and when you're ready, how to market yourself. So it's kind of the entire gamut, whether you're a rookie or a pro. This will help you to elevate your level of training. And if you want to learn more about the Dumbbells to Dollars course, I definitely recommend that you click on that image right there. But that's about it. I went over the 5 biggest mistakes that I made as a business owner. Next week, I'll go over the 5 best ideas or best practices that I make that keep me successful and keep my business running. So make sure to stay tuned. Thank you for watching. Remember, if you have any questions or comments, make sure to comment below, as your questions and comments are what fuel this channel. So you never know, your question may come up in a couple of weeks as a topic on YouTube. But that's about it. Thank you for watching again. I will see you next week. And as always, remember to eat healthy, hydrate, drive safe. Stress levels low, get rest. Don't slap anybody. Love your clients. They'll love you back. I'll see y'all tomorrow or the next day, and you have a good one. Hey everybody, thank you for watching the video. Make sure to comment below if you have any feedback, and as always, if you have not yet, make sure to check out my Dumbbells to Dollars course. Whether you're a rookie or a pro, if you're looking to dominate the big box gym scene and learn how to make more money in less time, or start your own business, or just earn CEUs for your certification, this is the best resource that you can find on the market, and it will help you to coach nutrition, teach groups, market yourself, and when you're ready, grow your own business the way that I did. So make sure that if you're interested in growing your business, in progressing as a fitness professional, that you either click on the image or check out the first link in the description box below and check it out. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next week.